Okay, so today we're going to talk about writing the equation of the ellipse given certain key features. All right, so put me on pause, try this, and then come back and check your answers. Okay, so the try that says to write both the vertex form for the ellipse. So remember, the vertex form for an ellipse is, one of them is x minus h squared over a squared. That would be having your major axis is the horizontal, and plus y minus k squared over b squared. So that would be your minor axis is the vertical axis equals 1. Or it could be x minus h squared over b squared, which would be your minor axis is the horizontal axis, plus y minus k squared over a squared. So your major axis is the vertical axis, and that equals 1. Remember, it always has to equal 1. All right, so when we write the equation, you have to make sure you find the center. You have to find the major, identify the major and minor axis, find the value of a and b, and then plug it into the formula. All right, so I have here my vertices. They give me the vertices, the up, down, left, right, is 0, 6, 0, negative 6, and 2, 0, and negative 2, 0. So I'm going to draw myself a little picture here. So I have XY. So one of my points is 0, 6 and 0, negative 6. And 2, 0 and negative 2, 0. So here is my ellipse here. So we can tell that the major axis is this way, it's vertical. So that means my A is going to go underneath the parentheses that has the Y. So let's find the center. So this would be my center. We write in between. So my center would be 0, 0. I'm going to write that down. Center is 0, 0. Right, so 0, 0 is my center. And now I need my A and my B. So my A, remember, is the length from center to vertex. So that's going to be 6 here. So A is equal to 6. And that's, remember, is going to go underneath my Y. And my B is my minor axis from center to vertex. And that's going to be 2. So I'm going to use the formula x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals 1, and my a squared is going to go underneath my y. So this would be a squared under the y and b squared under the x. So my center is 0, 0. So it's x minus 0 squared over my b, which is 2, so that would be 2 squared, plus y minus 0 squared over 6 squared equals 1. So x minus 0 squared is just x squared over 4, plus y minus 0 is just y over 36 is equal to 1. Okay, so let's take a look at the example number 2. All right, so number 2 we have here, I give you vertices 0, 0, negative 5, and 8, negative 5. So let's draw a picture. Start with that. So I have 0, negative 5 is down here. That's one vertice. And I have 8, negative 5. 8, negative 5 here. So if this is a vertice, if these are vertices, then I have, this would be one of my axes here. So that would mean my center would be right here in the middle, which would be at 4. So my center, so let me write that down, is going to be 4, comma, negative 5. Right, so center is be 4, negative 5. All right, so now it says my minor axis has a length of 4. Well, this here has a length of 8. So that's not my minor axis. So this actually has to be my major axis. So if my minor axis has a length of 4, that means my B is equal to 2. That means I would go up 2, and it would be down 2. So it'd be down here. So this is what my ellipse would look like. So if my B is 2, that means my A, so B is equal to 2. My A comes from my major axis, so this is going to be my A. Is going to be equal to 4. All right, so I have here, let's start writing the equation. We have x minus 4 squared plus y plus 5 squared is equal to 1. All right, so my major axis is going left to right, so it has to go underneath the x. So this is going to be my a squared, and this one's going to be my b squared underneath the y for my minor axis. So it would be x minus 4 squared over 4 squared, which is 16, plus y plus 5 squared over 2 squared, which is equal to 4, and that equals 1. Okay, let's take a look at example 3. Okay, so 3, they give us the foci. So I have 0, 0, and 0, 4. So they're not the vertices, they're the foci here. All right, so I have 0, 0, and 0, 4. Okay, so what I do know is that my center is actually the midpoint between these two. So if this length is 4, my middle, my center, let me write that down. My center is going to be 0, 2. All right, so now it says my major axis is 20. So since my foci are up, down, that means my major axis has to be up, down, has to be this way. Okay, because remember, my foci are on the major axis. All right, so this from here to here is 20. So if that's 20, then this piece here is equal to 10. So that's my A. So A is equal to 10. So what I'm missing is my B value. So what we're going to do is we'll use the a squared equals b squared plus c squared. But let's write down what we know so far. So we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals 1. And my major axis is up, down. That means it's going to be underneath the y. So this is what I have so far now. We have x minus 0 squared over b squared. That's what I'm missing. Plus y minus 2 squared over my a squared, that's 10 squared is 100, equals 1. So I need to get my b. All right, so in order to get my b, I'm going to use a squared equals b squared plus c squared. So I have my a squared. My a squared is 100, equals b squared. That's what I'm looking for. Now my c, remember c is the distance from center to one of the foci. So in this case, that's going to be c is equal to 2. So that would be plus 4 here. So 2 squared is 4. So b squared is equal to minus 4 from both sides. You get 96. So now I can write my equation. So it's x squared over 96 plus y minus 2 squared over 100 is equal to 1. Okay, so flip it over. Let's take a look at the back. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I have here, it says complete the square to put in vertex form. So notice I have this equation. It's almost in standard form. It's not equal to 0, so it would be equal to 0 to put it in standard form. So I want to put this in vertex form so I can identify the center and find my A, my B, so I can find my vertices and find my foci. All right, so I'm going to group my x's, group my y's, which they are. Okay, so we have here, I'm going to start my x's. So I'm going to do half of negative 6, which is negative 3, squared is equal to 9. So that's x squared minus 6x plus 9. Make sure you add 9 to the other side. And then I factor that, so I get x minus 3 times x minus 3, which is x minus 3 squared. All right, so now look at your y's. Notice the y's here. you have a leading coefficient there of a 4. So you have to factor out that 4. So you have to be careful there. So I get 4 times y squared plus 4y. So I'm going to do half of the 4, which is 2, squared is equal to 4. So it's 4 times y squared plus 4y plus 4. Now, since I have this number on the outside, I don't add 4 back here. Okay, so what I have to do, because of the 4, this 4 on the outside, I have to multiply that by 4, which is 16, and then that gets added to that side. All right, so then this becomes 4 times y plus 2, y minus plus 2, sorry, which is 4 times y plus 2 squared. So I have x minus 3 squared so far, plus 4 times y plus 2 squared equals, now I want to add up this whole side here, negative 21 plus 9 plus 16, and that comes out to be 4. Okay, so I know that it's an ellipse. So notice that I have a 4 back here at the end, so I have to divide everything by 4 to get rid of the 4 and make it a 1. So this is x minus 3 squared over 4 plus, that reduces to 1, y plus 2 squared over 1 equals 1. All right, so I'm just going to move everything up. Okay, so I know my center is 3, negative 2. Notice that my larger number, which is going to be my a squared is equal to 4. So that means a is equal to 2, and it's under my x, so it's going to go left, right. So it's left, right, 2. My b squared is equal to 1, so that means b is equal to 1. This is your up, down then. That's your minor axis, major, minor. Okay, so let's draw a quick picture, quick sketch of this. So my center is at 3, negative 2. All right, so my major axis is to the left and right 2. And my minor axis is up, down 1. So it looks like this. Okay, so that's it, and have a good night. See you tomorrow.